well, you install a gravel pack, right? But eventually, over the years, it fails. And when it fails, you start having sand production. So you see that over time, there's formation instability and there's increased water production. So what this tends to do is that it leads to damage in the tubing and the equipment. So yeah, you're flowing your hydrocarbons and you have sand. So you can imagine what months and years of sand against your tubing and against the equipment can do to your production. So it causes unstable well performance. It leads to frequent intervention campaigns, increased operating expenses, loss of production, and eventually, the well is shut down. So for this case today, we are actually going to be discussing on a well that was actually shut in. It was actually shut in because of high sand production. So what is being used in the industry right now is this corn. So sand consolidation, if you don't know what that stands for, it's not effective and it's not a lasting solution. So scorn is it's chemicals. That's just it's chemicals that tend to hold the rock formations together. What causes sand is that the rock formation gets loose over time due to produce water and produce hydrocarbons, due to high water rates, hot water cuts. So what this corn does is that it holds the sand grains together among other things, but it's not effective because it's not effective. What we have in the industry is not effective. After like 3 months, right, you have to do another intervention. You have to keep on doing interventions. So there was a need in Renaissance, and we brought up the solution for that need. Next slide, please. Okay, so sand control using XPAC. It is deployed using rigless intervention technology. It provides mechanical sand control. It is lower cost than a conventional rig walkover gravel packing. It is true tubing. It is effective near wellbore packing reliability. So just to further explain, okay, we can see, like I said, this is not the typical technical presentation. It's a case study, but I just put this here so that you see the BHA. So here you have your screen, you have the isolation packer, and then you have the gravel. So how it goes in that, of course, the first run is your drift run. The second run is the sand screen. Then the third is not a run, it's not considered to be a run, but the next part is the gravel packing, where they pour in gravel pack. You can do this to coil tubing, you can also do it to wire line using the balers. Okay, so then the third run is to deploy the packer, which closes and cases the sand screen in place. So this was what we deployed. So next slide, please. Okay, so the case study we are referring to here is Renaissance. So, repeated sand production costs. It caused production decline, frequent shutdown, unstable production, and eventually the well shutting. So this particular well was actually commissioned in 1975. So, you think about it, over 40 years, 50 years, it's eventually closed in due to sand production. And the cost of doing the walkover is not convenient, and the client would not want to go that route unless they know that it's commercially viable. So the solution, they reached out to us, discussions, and the solution we offer, which we've done in numerous sites and numerous companies, is the XPAC. So the XPAC, we bypass the MCU GP, and that's a milled casing gravel pack, and we deployed the XPAC, through the existing completions, avoiding a costly completions replacement, and walkover. So, the well eventually produced, after the job was done, it was estimated to do around 500 barrels of oil per day, and the results exceeded that. We have over 1,000 barrels of oil per day, which is excellent. So definitely we are doing others in other companies. We also have lots of jobs lined up with Renaissance as regards to the gravel park. But just to make you understand that that's what the XPAC does, and that's the solution it brings to the industry. Okay, so the next slide, please. Okay, so you might be wondering, how do we stand out, right? Oida has been around for 30 plus years. We have experts engineers, we have expert technicians, we have experience. We have real-time monitoring, and we communicate with our engineers in every part of the country and outside. When they are doing jobs, there's live communication. So we've always been doing this for over 30 years in different services, different solutions across board. Okay. So we were formerly known as Oida. We are still known as Oida, but we are now the Oida group, and we are now we have, like I said, 5 companies, Oida Energy. So this is the Oida Energy session that does the well intervention. Okay, next slide. So this is just our feats, what we've done so far, and more. So just to let you know that the XPAC solves sound control without having to use corn. That's chemicals, which is not effective. It's also much more effective than the standoff screens, because standoff screens, the screens act as the primary sound control measure, but with the XPAC, the gravel pack stands as the primary sound control measure. Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. Okay, yeah. So thank you very much. So this is question and answer. I would really, really love to have questions from you guys. Thank you. Okay, any questions?
Okay, so I would want to know, is the XPAC a permanent solution?
Is it a
Permanent solution.
okay? So the XPAC is referred to as a permanent solution, but it's guaranteed to last for 10 years. So we have 10 years. So why you do not use the word permanent, or you have to understand what the word permanent is there's nothing permanent. You might have to replace the screens. Yeah, that's why you have the isolation packer, which you might have to replace the screens or work on the screens. So even if, yes, you can use the word permanent, because 10 years is quite a lot, but you have to know that it's 10 years. That when you compare it to scone is just like 3 months, 6 months. So yeah, you can say permanent, but have in mind that you're looking at 10 years before you would need to do any intervention as regards to sound control. Thank you. All right, thank you very much.
Would you like to learn about vendor
Okay,
registration with settlers,
guys, please bring
local
up the
content,
ESG
and
game on the
resilient
screen,
supply
please.
chain in the Nigerian energy sector? Join us at 10 a.m. for a session on building
This is a
resilient
safety
Nigerian
game.
supply chains for
We know
a
that in the oil
globally
and gas industry, we're all about
competitive
safety. So you have to
E&P
identify
industry.
every
Come
unsafe
learn,
act
ask
in this game.
questions, and win
It's about
fantastic
21.
gifts.
So the highest will obviously get a prize. So scan the QR code.
Would you like to learn about vendor registration with
No peeping,
settlers?
please.
local content, and resilient supply chain in the Nigerian energy sector. Join us
Please
at
note that
10
there's a
a.m.
timer, so if
for
you're
a
taking your
session
time,
on building resilient Nigerian supply chains
yeah,
for
so
a
immediately you
globally
log in, the timer has
competitive
started.
E
That's to
and P
identify
industry.
every
Come learn,
unsafe act.
ask questions, and win fantastic gifts.
Okay. Are you done? How is it going? Okay. Can show me your screen, please. Okay.
Are you done?
28.
Are you done? Oh, wow. Okay.
A presentation is currently on at Emerson booth with the title Beyond Open and Close, Unlocking Reliability Through Smart Isolation Solution. A session is ongoing at Emerson booth.
So the two highest scores will
Beyond
be getting
Open
the
and Close,
prize.
Okay, wait. So
Unlocking
some of them are saying they did not get the
Reliability
concept
Through
of
Smart
the game,
Isolation
Okay, so you want
right?
to.
Okay, let's do it again. So the concept of the game is to identify the unsafe act, right? Let's say, for example, there's a spill. You just tap on it. That's an unsafe act. That's 1 point. There's maybe a nail just hanging there. That's an unsafe act. So you just tap on it. So we're going to do it again from the top, right? Let's just take a new round. So we can scan the QR code again and let's do it again. But you understand it now, right? Okay.
Bring up the.
I think this one is different from the one they played yesterday. This one.
Yeah, the one of. Yes.
This one is different.
You can play the two games. Okay. Time is going.
ExxonMobil will be having its final quiz on petroleum engineering by 10:15 a.m. Lots of amazing prizes to be won. ExxonMobil will be having
Are we
its
almost
final
done?
quiz on petroleum engineering by 10:15 a.m. Lots of amazing prizes to be won.
Are we playing once?
What
Do you have your
get?
score?
29, okay. 18.
Okay.
We have
That's
29.
fair.
29 is the highest. What do you get? 10. 12. Okay, so it's seeming like 29 is the highest here. 29 it's looking like it's 29 and 18. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
let's just wait for him.
briefly for him to finish up.
interest in drilling, there will be a session, drilling 101, at the Shell booth by 10 a.m.
Okay, so as we wait for him, please just fill
Immediately
the
after,
attendance.
the
Just scan
grand
the
final
QR code
quiz
and
will
fill the
be
attendance.
holding. There are prizes to be won. There are 2 internship slots to be won. The winner for the game session will also be announced. If you haven't had the chance, you can come over now.
Please, when you
All
scan, just
these
pass.
at the Shell booth from 10 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, sir, are you
If
done?
you have interest in drilling, there will be a session, drilling 101, at the Shell booth by 10
Countdown
a.m.
is on.
Immediately after, the grand finale will be holding. There are prizes to be won. There are 2 internship slots to be won. The winner for the game session
Okay, that's fair.
will
So
also be
I think we
announced.
have
If you haven't had the chance, you can come over now.
Oh, wow. So it's seeming like
All
the
these
two highest
at
at
the Shell
29 and
booth from
18.
10
Please, can you
a.m.
come forward?
Sefa Energy is currently having a presentation at
Yeah,
Career
on behalf
Hub.
of Oida Energy, thank you for being a participant. Congratulations.
Sefa Energy
Can we
is
talk
currently
about
having a presentation
Can we
on
talk? God bless.
ongoing at the Booth Hall.
Okay, thank you very much
all right.
for.
Thank you, everyone. Okay. Can you give me the mic?
The XPAC. I joined XPAC. Does it need like drilling? Like, how do you make use of it? You get what I'm saying? Like, is this something that you need to like drill?
Okay. Yeah. So just like we mentioned, SPAC is a rigless technology. Yeah. So you don't need a rig. So that answers your question, right? Yes. So do a walkover. Yeah. It goes through tubing. All right. All right. Thank you. Our next session is coming up very soon.